Grant says, thoughts on adding a loot token, much like Garrosh in MoP in older raids, to help Xmog players get tier sets. And I think this is very much inspired by Grant spending 14 weeks trying to get the pants from Argus. So, to really go and try to dive into the core theme of Grant's question, I think it is that Grant is probably one of those more collections and transmog and stuff oriented players. Or maybe isn't and just wants to get that final bit for their, their final set.
I've been there.
But do you think there's a way that Blizzard could make some of that collection gameplay better? I mean, I'm not 100% sure myself, but I do remember there was times where they shook it up for PvP specifically with like the Marks of Honor system.
That's so great. I love that so much.
Yeah,
it's allowed me to, like, there was a period of time in, I think it was, I can't remember if it was end of Warlords or end of Legion, when I was playing a lot anyway, and I was like, okay, I'm really invested in my character. I want some of this PvP gear. I'm kind of tired of this silver handset I'm wearing for the whole expansion. Okay, let's go get something. So I went and I spent a couple days in doing BGs for a big stack of marks, and I went, okay, time to go. Basically I earned a currency and I went shopping. And I was like, okay, here's this outfit looks cute. Here we go. Off we go. It was great. I think they almost certainly could get away with so much stuff there. Like, I think it maybe looks good for gameplay hours that, I mean, I don't know if he's still doing it regularly, but Nikki used to go Mythic Xavius over and over again for the Nightmare Horns, or whatever they were, Horns? Shoulders.
Yeah, shoulders.
Shoulders, yeah. I'm thinking of the other ones. But yeah, it's a case where that's not been designed. They've never actually designed that. And I'm thinking about the sort of idea I've had on and off, and I think you've had some of it as well, where it's like, that's a big part of how people play. People revisit old content because the old content has stuff they want. I don't know how many times I've run through Escarn Citadel for Invincible. I don't know how many times I've run through basically like any of the old stuff. And even whenever I have a day to play World of Warcraft and I feel like, I'll play for a while, I usually end up doing a big journey around like expansions I haven't cleared on my character to grab stuff. And it's a case where they could design almost like they did with fishing in Legion.
Oh, interesting.
They could do so much there. Remember Bear Tartar?
Yeah.
And everyone went, okay, this is great. This is absolutely fantastic. These incredible speed sets we all have. We're all going flying, we're going full speed around all this stuff. And it's no fun allowed. The no fun allowed police have come, and that's gone. So why not do that, but for fishing?
Or for...
Sorry, yes. Yeah, do the fishing
stuff.
thing for that, which is to say, can we have an artifact for old collecting stuff? Do you want to tie it into archaeology because it's technically the past?
Yeah.
Give us a talent tree that makes us run faster in legacy raids. Gives us maybe more loot. I don't know if that's technically possible because of how loot tables are done. But like, give us more loot, give us more movement speed, let us kill stuff better. I mean, the same with like the fact that people struggle with Mythic Legion content and BFA content still not doable. It's like, just give someone like a couple months to design a whole system around that, a whole bunch of gameplay, a whole bunch of like completely separate talents, and look at that. You've got something that will make all of your content that you already spent money and time making significantly more relevant. Not necessarily relevant to current patches like season or gearing.
Yeah.
But it'll make it all relevant, and then it'll do the same going forward.
I think that makes actually massive sense. And there's this thing. There's a lot of content in World of Warcraft, and there is so little that you want to do because World of Warcraft is developed in a very... The new thing is the new thing, and that's really all you care about. And there's obviously so many people that go back, they do the old raids, the old dungeons, they want to get all their sets. You do then wonder, is there some way that Blizzard could have some form of system that could make good on all that old content? I guess in a way that's not time walking. Or maybe expand it into some sort of new time walking. I have to wonder, is there a situation, or is it just a thing where time walking is a weekly event? Sometimes happens. That was cool in the past. Whereas like, oh cool, an event. Whereas now people are like, Oh, if they want to do time walking, which, I mean, who really knows of the current gear? Sort of, I mean, it's not that great gear, is it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's like 158 or something, so it's not that relevant.
Yeah, it's 158 from the dungeon and then 200 at the end, which is kind of, I mean, 200 is fine for like a couple players, especially catch up, but generally, no.
So is it time for patch 9.2.5 time walking version 2? It's always on and it's a new system you can go and engage with. Would that be some form of way for Blizzard to actually like do something with all of this old content they've got in the game that is really good content, that's got, in some cases, like strong narrative? You know, even if they're... Could you just do a quest line for Wrath of the Lich King and you follow that quest line, actually takes you through the end game journey, gives you the context and the characters? Maybe Chromie runs it and you get some cool stuff at the end, and you know, maybe you do something where it impacts the gear that you get. Maybe it's another way to get some of the gear, but something that would make good on all of that old content. I think for maybe people like who I think Grant is, who would enjoy that, something like that could be really big. I mean, if that came back as a patch feature, I'd totally come back. Yeah. I know in the past, and okay, I was a hunter, so one of the things that just as a part of the hunter community, you know, you and the fellow hunters would all care about soloing things. So, I mean, I even remember going around soloing Utgard Pinnacle, the dungeon, when I was in my Ice Crown Citadel gear. Not really sure why I did that, but it was just cool. It was also pretty easy, absolutely not an achievement, to have done that. So there's big potential there. I would be super interested if maybe somebody in the WoW team just had that strike of inspiration or passion or whatever, and you know, hopefully somebody gets that strike and can go to their boss and be like, hey, I think I have a good idea, and it happens, because that could be very big.
Yeah, I mean, here's a very, very quick version of that would actually tie right back into Grant's question pretty well. So they obviously have the ability to give you ensembles. So what they do is time walking, say, still make it maybe an event, maybe something like that. Maybe like it's up for a week every month and you're like can do as much of it as you want. But Chromie time lets you select a whole like expansion. What if you selected a tier and then got a very short quest line, no gameplay changes? Basically make it so you run around one shot and everything, because it doesn't matter that much. But you just go get the quest, you speak to a couple people, and they have like quick dialogue going, oh yeah, maybe it's Chromie with you the whole time. Might be expensive on voice acting, but like Chromie's going, oh yeah, remember the time you or the heroes of whatever came here and sorted this out and killed all this? And here's like, it's all framed as technically being the past, but you just run around one-shotting stuff, and then at the end it's like, oh yeah, thanks for coming on this journey with me. Here you go, here's the ensemble, which is that tier for your current class, maybe?
Yeah, something like that would be awesome.
Maybe something you could even send to an alt as a token to redeem, or even for like a weapon set, something like that. Just anything where it's like, here's the narrative framing, so this doesn't feel like you're just going and doing old stuff, but it's like, yeah, remember this was cool, here's all the stuff. I hope you had a good like evening of doing that, as opposed to feeling really pissed off every time you don't get the weapon you want.
Yeah. Which I think is overall to say there's really incredible potential here. We enjoy doing that old stuff anyway in the game, and if Blizzard was to do more there, I think there would be many claps from us, and that would be pretty awesome.